Hey there, I'm going to do a quick video if I can on the project I'm working on, my music stand. Probably sending it to my brothers and I'm not sure who else, so a lot of you have already seen what I'm working on out here in my shop. Try to reverse the camera here first, which I have set up out here. So this is my latest design that I've drawn up on the computer, and I see there's reflections on there. But anyway, I have all the details worked out on it. I can zoom it out to a whole lot of different areas of the drawing that have dimensions and whatnot. Anyway, I keep my computer over here, and I've been fabricating different parts. Here are leg parts that are way at the beginning, and I'll do another video on how those are turning out. But I want to go over to the machine shop area that expanded last summer when I was able to obtain this Smithy benchtop milling machine. I'd already purchased this rotary table, so I had that. And I also picked up this 1942 vintage lathe. It was first used for the war effort by the Henry Ford Company. And I've got some documentation on that. So I've been milling up some parts on the lathe and this milling machine. Now, just to go through a very quick history of this design for my music stands, started back when I came up with this design here. A lot of you have seen it. You basically pull out the pin here, and then this adjusts to four different angles. With only one hand, it's hard to do that. But imagine that this part here gets bolted to the back side of a desk, something like that. So that would get bolted to the back side of that part, and that's how it functions. I like that. It functioned well, but it was very heavy and kind of clunky. And I asked Dad many years ago if he could come up with a better idea, and he came up with a really clever idea. I like this a lot. He made 4 or 5 of these. You basically pull down this latch, and it's spring-loaded, and it pivots off there so that the angle can adjust to 5 different levels. And he also made this really clever part where you flip this around, and because it's milled down there like that, you can rotate the whole thing as it's vertical, 360 degrees. It's kind of hard to show, but if you've seen this before, you know what I'm talking about. I really like that. I actually made 2 stands, 3 I think, with this design, but I thought it's still a little too big. So at one point, if I find my box, I actually downsized all of Dad's parts to a much smaller design, and these are the remnants of it in here. And so basically everything that Dad had made here, I downsized in a prototype that functioned the same way. But it's hard to find all the parts. So here's the little spring-loaded arm that would be this spring-loaded arm. I did do away with the idea of being able to spin at 360 degrees. But as I was going through this whole process, realizing, okay, I could make 1 or 2 of them, did I really want to make something that involved all the detailed parts? Like this was one of the original prototypes where I took a flat piece of aluminum and then milled it into this piece that was turned on the lathe. And you can see some of the joinery there, you know, trying to make that kind of meld it into each other because I didn't want to weld. You can see Dad's design here has got the welding all there, and that's super cool because you can make it a unit, a single unit. But having worked on this, I gave up on that idea. Then I lost my access to the machine shop, and this project sat dormant for quite a while until a year or so ago when I was able to obtain these 2 devices over here, the milling machine and the lathe, and now lately this bandsaw. So now I can do some milling of metal parts, which brings us back to redefining the whole design. And I came up with this idea of just the whole thing pivoting off of here in 5 adjustment holes. Now my cousin Dick Young, I sent him a rough drawing, and he laser cut this. This is 1/8 inch steel. He laser cut that, and it's really, really good. Now what I wanted though was it out of brass and a little thicker, and too many shops aren't able to produce that. And at the time I didn't have the milling machine, so again it just sort of sat there idle until last summer, when I've been able to now take this design and expand it into what we see here. I see my video is already running like 6 minutes long, so maybe I'll start over with the second video. But here's a prototype and 4 new brass pieces. So I'll cut this one here, short here at 6 minutes, and I'll make a second video.